I spent a good night with Dexter, went and got some good Mexican food, which tasted really good and recharged the batteries. I had him drop me off here in Warner Springs. I didn't feel right about getting on my toe again right away because it was overstretched. I did some research and seems like what I have is probably turf toe, meaning the ligaments are stretched, overstretched in there because I can feel the pain of the ligaments around the joint. So thought, okay, well, I'll take another day off before I get out on the trail. As I was doing some research on my day off, I discovered that the snow that I thought I was going to encounter after Idyllwild, which is the next big town after what I'm doing here, after I leave here, the snow is actually before that. In fact, the worst of it is about 10 miles starting before I reach Idyllwild. So I thought, okay, well, I don't have my micro spikes to make those traversals safe. So I decided to get those mailed. There's a little post office here. And I spent an extra couple days here waiting for the mail. And it's supposed to arrive today by 3 p.m. So I'm going to check out here in a little bit and then head on over to the post office, and hopefully it'll get here before 3 so I can actually get out on the trail, and I'll make it it won't get too far today. I'll find a campsite, shall I say, closer to town. So toe still hurting a little bit, but getting much better. I decided to tape it up because you can tape a toe up to immobilize it a little bit for when you have turf toe so that you don't keep overextending it. So that I think will help as I go down the trail, not exacerbate any further, let it heal a little bit more, but still allow me to put some miles on the trail. And then after a little bit, I can take that off, and hopefully the ligaments are healed and a little more stretchy than they were before. And there's the tape job on my toe. It holds it so that it can't go up very far. It has a little mobility, but it can't overextend. So I think that will help, at least I hope that will help when I get out on the trail. Nice, I got my micro spikes, so I'm ready to hit the road. Well, I was settling in for like a 0.8 mile road walk on this road that I wasn't real thrilled to be on. People drive a tad bit too fast on there, and luckily a local saw me and said, "You're not going to walk on the road, are you? People get killed on that thing." I'm like, "Yeah, tell me about it." But he pointed out a little dirt road. He said, "Hey, you can take this dirt road here that runs along the side of the main highway here, and it's a tad bit shorter and takes me exactly where I want to go." So that was really nice of him, and I'm not walking on the road, which I like even more. Well, I don't know if that was much of a shortcut. It was going the right way, and then the road started veering off the wrong way, and I ended up having to do some cow pasture walking and hopping a few barbed wire fences, but I emerged unscathed. And I've made it back to the trail. Trail has become just the sand along this stream. Agua Caliente is the name of it. Okay, that looks like a normal trail here. I wondered if I was in the right space for a while there. I love how the sand sparkles around here though, because of all the granite that's in the area. I made a friend. Well, here is the camp spot for the evening. I'm hoping that this tree cover, or brush cover, gives a little bit of protection from the wind. Thus far it seems like it is. We'll see how well that handles through the night. Well, it's the next morning, and my mattress appears to have a slow leak to it, so I have to get up about every 4 or 5 hours and re-inflate it so that I'm not lying on the ground. I'll have to figure out where that came from. But the good news is, this is the first time on trail that I've woken up and the wind is not blowing all over the place. So it's been nice putting things together and actually stopping and having breakfast instead of fleeing from the campsite. So good start to the day. Today I'm planning on going to Mike's place. It's kind of legendary on the PCT. People go there and they have pizza, etc., etc. I don't know how it's going to be now because it is under a new owner as of this year. So everybody keeps saying that it's open and you can go there and you can see it. Well, I guess I'll find out and see what it's all about. And there is San Jacinto, where I'm heading. I can see there's still snow. This is more how I pictured the desert looking like. Not all those pretty wildflowers I've been walking through. This looks like it must be it. Well, there wasn't anything of huge note happening at Mike's place. I had a couple sodas and fill up on my water, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe more stuff happens in the evening. There were just a few people sitting around chatting, so that's cool. But I wanted to get on the trail and get some more miles in before the day is out. So there I go. Here's where I'm setting up for the night. A little bit lower. I'm hoping for more wind cover. Already I can tell it's more windy than the site last night, so I'll just deal with that. Ride the wind. Well, last night wasn't too bad. It was moderately windy, but that's what earplugs are for. My thermarest, unfortunately, seems to be deflating faster, so I'll have to try to figure out what to do with that. I've got one more night before I hit a major freeway, so if it's getting worse and worse and worse, I don't want to try to sleep on the ground when I get up in the San Jacinto Mountains, because 7, 8, 9,000 feet, it's going to be a tad bit colder, and I'm not looking forward to being a lot colder. I discovered last night when I reached camp that I had made an error. I left the tape on my feet for my turf toe a second day without taking it off because I didn't have enough tape to re-put it on. I only had a little bit, and I got basically one application and then a little touch-up on my left foot. But last night it had accumulated enough moisture and enough stickiness that it was starting to rip my skin off, which is a fun feeling. So I managed to get the tape off my feet without doing too much damage. I'm glad I brought the little medical scissors so that I could cut it into smaller pieces and make it easier to get off. This morning I'm not putting any more tape on. My left toe still hurts some, but it's healed quite a bit, so I'm hoping that, you know, it's at the tail end of it, and if I take it slowly, then I won't have a problem. I had a couple blister band-aids, which I questioned bringing, but I'm glad I did now, because I used those to put over the worst part of the rip on the top of my foot. I didn't want that to get grated by my sock as I was walking. So I'm happy I have those. I don't have any more though, but at least that'll save me from ripping open that wound or causing even more problem. So we'll see how it goes. I really like this section with the little alleyways of brush and rock and everything. The grand vistas you get walking along the ridges are cool, but I still always kind of like these secluded areas, kind of the green tunnel type thing, although I'm not really covered in trees, not at this point at least, but it's a nice change of pace out here. As I'm filtering water, I decided to lay my quilt out to dry out in the sun. It sometimes gets pretty wet from the condensation on the inside of the tent, so it's important to lay it out and get it dry so that you do not have wet gear when you're about to go to bed at night, especially with the temperatures dropping like they have been around here. Here's a concrete cistern that you can get water out of. Luckily I don't have to get it this time. It actually has started raining right now. It's just a sprinkle at this point. Well, the rain stopped pretty quickly, but got to do about 1.5 miles uphill, which was actually kind of nice. Don't feel like I've been able to get my heart rate up with babying my toe and walking slower, so it was kind of nice to get the blood pumping. Well, I wasn't expecting this. Too bad I toted all that water up the hill. That little spot at mile 145, there's a trail angel there named Mary who runs that, and it's got everything. Really nice, good place to stay overnight. You got a bathroom and water and everything you could want. But I wanted to get up early so I could hit the trail. I have 5 miles left to go. There is a diner off of Highway 74, and rumor is they have pancakes and coffee, which sound really good to me. So I'm hoping I can make it there before they stop breakfast or something. I don't know if they're like McDonald's and at 10:30 they're done. I don't know. But I'm pretty excited. Even if I can't get breakfast, I'll get lunch. I'm gonna get a hot meal one way or another. Well, that was a really good breakfast. I fully intended on eating at least 2, maybe 3 breakfasts when I got in there, but the stomach wasn't willing, even though I thought it was. But it was really good. I got to meet a couple cool people. I met a group of people that were out on their motorbikes. They apparently this is a popular spot for people that go out there and do bike riding. So talked to them for a bit. they were really curious about why someone would be crazy enough to get out here on the trail. I tried to explain that to them. I don't know if they're convinced, but that was kind of cool. And so talked to people, stayed here a little bit longer than I thought, but overall pretty good time. So I am going to head back out on the trail now. Need to get as far up the mountain as I can. I've got about a 2,000 foot elevation gain now, so I'm really going to be calling on those pancakes, shall I say, to get up to there, spend a night, and then hopefully by end of day tomorrow I will be marching into Idyllwild. Well, the goal is to make it to Saddle Junction by end of day tomorrow, which means I still have another 10.5 miles or so to go. Hope my toe holds up. A little sore, but it limbers up over time. There's a spot that's like a mile off the trail, but it has reliable water and apparently is a little out of the wind. So being up at higher elevation and out of the wind appeals to me. My goal is to try that one out. We'll see how it works. Well, I finally made it to the turnoff. This wasn't really well planned. I had to make it here to get my water resupply. Still have a mile to hike down. I should have brought more water. Oh, I'm glad I made it down to this site last night. It was kind of like a little oasis of trees amongst all the scrub brush and everything. Really nice spring, clear water, and most importantly, coming down to avoid the wind was a smart move because it was windy last night. So I'm all full up on water, which I have to be. It's a 17 miles to town and also 17-mile water carrier. There's no water along the way, so I fully filled up, which is not the greatest prospect for going up this steep 1 mile hill back to the trail, but it's better than the alternative of having no water. And I'm getting closer to Mount San Jacinto. As if the quick 1,000 foot elevation gain wasn't enough, they have these blowdowns which are super fun to crawl over or go around up the trail. Hope I get to the top of this mountain soon. Woo! And we're starting to see our first evidence of snow. That's not enough to worry anyone though. And here's the snow that requires the microspikes. I think I'll put them on. There, that should help. Ooh, well, doable with microspikes, but do not look down. I would have turned away from that if I were hiking back in Washington and hike the trail another day. A couple of those points were kind of hairy. Those birds sound like they're playing a video game. This is not how I wanted to finish out the day. Well, I did not plan this day out well. I thought I was going to make it into town, kept pushing farther and faster, and I overstretched. The last few miles turned into complete snow. I had to find my way through. I finally made it to a landmark, but it's still snow, and there's no way I'm going to be able to make it the 4.4 miles down the mountain without even knowing where that trail is well defined. It's already, I think, about 6 o'clock, so I only have about an hour and a half of daylight. There's no way I'm going to make it anywhere, so I am just going to set up camp right here and just survive the night. It's going to be cold. And then tomorrow, in the light of day, and when I have a whole day, I'm finding my way off the mountain, and I'm going to stay down there for a few days because I'm tired of snow. Okay, well, to the evening. Well, I wondered if it froze last night. It kind of felt like it, but I couldn't tell. My socks, which were wet, have confirmed that it froze. Because they don't normally stand straight out like that. I'm glad I have another pair of socks to slip into. I'd say 6 days without a shower has definitely left its hallmark. I think this may be the longest I've gone without a shower, especially in dusty conditions like this. Ew. Well, that wasn't necessarily a fun night. It did freeze and I could feel that. I ended up having to put my rain pants on over my sleep pants just to add another little extra layer of insulation. Even with that, I still woke up a few times shivering. It's always fun to shiver yourself awake. But it's morning now. I've got a couple dilemmas. I really only have some trail mix left as far as food. The rest of my food requires water, and I ran out of water yesterday getting to this point, so that's not good. Now I am surrounded by snow, but it's kind of like the ancient mariner, water, water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. I tried to grab some just now and it's frozen solid. That'll be good for hiking on, but it's certainly not good for trying to grab some to wet your dry mouth. So I'll have to go down the road a bit to see if I can find some softer snow, or hopefully find some snow that's melting so I can steal some water from that, because I am thirsty right now. Not as hungry, but I know I need food. But trail mix is not a good thing to eat without water because it's nasty. Okay, so today I need to find my way off the mountain. According to my Garmin weather report, it's snow tomorrow, so I'm getting off this mountain today, one way or another. I have a few exit points, it looks like. I don't know which one to take. I'm gonna have to figure that out as I go along, but the trails seem to be covered with snow. Hopefully once I get down a little bit, the snow will go away some, but I don't know. We'll see. I've kind of gotten used to putting on cold, sometimes wet clothes in the morning, which is never fun, but frozen shoes is a first for me. I can't say that's a highlight of the morning. At least I know where I am for the moment. So the question is on offer, do I go ahead to Saddle Junction, wherever the trail is there, and then try to exit downhill? Maybe there'll be less snow. Or go up to Keats, which is somewhere here. I don't know where. And then try to exit that way. They're both about 5 miles. One seems to go up before it goes down, so maybe the one that goes down would have less snow over time. I'd pay someone $50 for a glass of water right now. I'm so thirsty. But I do have to admit that this frozen solid snow is awesome to walk on with microspikes. You feel like Spider-Man, you stick to it so well. I've decided to push ahead to Saddle Junction, so I've been going steadily downhill. Go GPS. It served me well last night, and I'm gonna rely on it some more. I really hope that all this snow vanishes and I see pristine trail. Whew, verified trail. I hope more of that comes. I see some snow up ahead, but As long as we can get rid of more snow and add more trail, I'll be happy. Look at this water. I am getting some of that. Man, that was some of the best water I've had in years. I was so thirsty. Took forever to wait for it to filter though. I almost wanted to drink it right out of the source, but better safe than sorry. So I cameled up and grabbed a couple of liters, and I am going to head down the trail. I supposedly only have 1.1 miles to go to reach Saddle Junction, which is where I exit the trail. I see a lot more trail than snow right now, so I'm cautiously optimistic. The snow is starting to get less and less as we descend. I have my theory about why they call this trail Devil's Slide Trail. I slipped about 5 or 6 times coming down this thing, 2 of them pretty badly. There's a gravel and little small gravel on rocks, so pretty dicey coming down. It's gonna be a pain coming back up though.